Hey foodie friends, welcome back to Getting Saucy with Chef Lynn. Today, our adventures are taking us back to the Philippines and we're gonna make kare kare. So let's get saucy. Now, kare kare is a dish that is usually made with oxtails, can be done with any kind of beef, and sometimes with tripe. Now, this is tripe, it is a cow stomach. If you don't want to use this, you don't have to use this. It's not everybody's taste, okay? But the first thing we need to do if we are using this is we need to blanch it because this has been bleached and it's still got some of that chlorine on it. So we're gonna blanch it in hot water with some salt and then we're gonna rinse it in cold water to get all of that bleachy flavor off of it because we don't want that in our dish because that's just not delicious.
Okay, we blanched our tripe in boiling water with salt for about 10 minutes, and now we'll drain it and rinse it in cold water to get all the chlorine smell and taste off. It's bleached to make it look nicer, but we definitely don't want any of that flavor in our kare kare. Now that the tripe is rinsed well and cool, we'll cut it into strips. Okay, over to the stove top now. I have a large pot over medium-high heat with some vegetable oil, and I'm going to saute one medium onion that I've cut in half and then sliced. We'll give that a minute or two to soften slightly, and then I'll add a bunch of minced garlic and let that cook until fragrant. Then we'll add our meat and let that cook for a few minutes just to get a little color. Finally, in goes our tripe. Give that a stir and then add some beef broth. Now we're going to bring that up to a boil and reduce it to a simmer, and we'll let it cook for about an hour to an hour and a half until the beef is nice and tender. Meanwhile, we can prep the rest of our ingredients. We're going to use some eggplant, some baby bok choy, and some green beans. Typically you'd use long beans for this, but I didn't find any that I liked at the Asian market, so I'm just going to use some green beans. We're also going to add in our secret ingredient, the peanut butter, and some crushed peanuts. And finally, we're going to add some annatto water. That's really just for color, not for flavor. While I prep these vegetables, why don't you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so this has been cooking for about an hour to an hour and a half, and the beef is nice and tender. So we're going to add in our annatto water along with the peanut butter and crushed peanuts, and we'll just stir that until the peanut butter is melted in there. Now, this sauce is going to thicken up with the peanut butter, but if we need to thicken it a little bit more, we can always add a cornstarch slurry or some toasted crushed rice, but we'll just see what happens when we're done with it. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we'll add in our eggplant and let that cook for about 5 to 7 minutes to get start to get tender. And then we'll add in our green beans. The green beans we're only going to cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. We want those to be kind of tender crisp to have some crunch still to the center.
Alright, so just added a little pinch of salt and a grind of black pepper. Those green beans have been in there for about 2-3 minutes, so
we will turn off the heat and lay our bok choy in on top and cover that with the lid. And just kind of let the bok choy leaves wilt a little bit while the centers still maintain that same kind of crisp that the green beans have. And once that's all done, we will come back and give this a taste. Okay, so the other thing you have to do is serve this with some bagoong or salted shrimp paste. Now, I know you're thinking I'm crazy because this is like this really bright pink thing that you've never seen or heard of before, but trust me, it's absolutely delicious. It adds a whole nother depth of flavor and dimension to the dish. So you just serve a little bit on the side and take some with each bite or mix a little bit of it in. Trust me guys, if you're gonna make this dish, find this at your local Asian market and pick it up.
Alright foodie friends, so she is done. Look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? It's gonna be so good. The beef is so tender. These vegetables, I can't wait. Gotta serve it with some rice, obviously. And the bagoong, the shrimp paste, like I said, you have to have this. It just adds so much extra flavor. It's not the same without it. So I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna go for a piece of the tripe right away. Get me a little rice. Oh my God, it's so good. The tripe has a little chew to it. Texture is really nice. That shrimp paste adds the right amount of salt to this dish. just picks up all those flavors, rounds everything out. It is so good. I'm gonna go in for a little piece of this beef now. And maybe a couple of green beans. See if I can get this on here. I'm not good for a TV bite. I take too much usually, so. Absolutely delicious. Green beans still have some crunch to them. So perfect. You guys need to try this recipe. Absolutely need to try it. So, thanks again as always for joining me on Getting Saucy with Chef Lynn. Check the description box for a link to the full written recipe. Find my website, cheflynnwheeler.com. That's where the recipe will be. And yeah, thanks guys. I'll see you next time. Oh, Rick says bye to my husband. He's over there waving on the side of the camera.